So, Dave, you are in the real estate business. I always found it so fascinating. Tell me a little bit about how you got into the business.
Yeah, actually, I started picking up rental properties way back in 2005, towards the height of the market, and just was looking for. I mean, money was very accessible back then, and I didn't really have it all figured out. Not that I do now, but just was wanting to build rental income, passive income, and start picking up some rentals, and just kind of morphed from there into flips and then wholesaling and more rentals and yeah, just growing it from there.
And what was the biggest challenge about getting into the business?
I guess I think it's probably the biggest challenge of getting into any business, which is mindset, right? Like thinking that you couldn't do something, or that you don't have what it takes to do something, or that there's something holding you back. Oh, I don't have the money, or I don't know where to find properties, or whatever that might be. So just kind of upgrading your mindset is, I think, key for a lot of life.
Nice. And one thing I've always been interested in, because I'm kind of in a situation right now, what's worse? What's better, renting versus buying? Tell me a little bit about that, especially if you're first starting out.
Sure. That's a tricky one. And it's not that I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for that. I think that it depends on the person. And if they're looking for, say they weren't handy, they weren't wanting, so let me address as I go along. Say they weren't handy, like they want to move into a place where they don't have to touch anything. They don't want to mow the lawn. They don't want to fix anything. They don't want to deal with repair or whatever. Then it's great to rent because the landlord takes care of all those things. Um, Say flexibility. If you were looking to, hey, I want to, I think I want a two bedroom, but I might want a bigger three or four. Renting is a good way to feel that out, or even feel out a certain area. Do I want to be close to downtown, or do I want to be out in the suburbs? Also, maybe a shorter term thing, maybe 2 or 3 years or less. You're like, hey, I know I'm going to stay here just for like the next year or two. Probably a good option to rent. If you're saying, hey, no, I love this area, my family's here, probably 3+ years. That's a good way to consider buying. And then I would say the other thing from the financial standpoint would be, if you are the kind of person that, like, I make X amount a month and my rent is X, and I love knowing that my rent is X, and then I don't get, of course your mortgage would be X, but your mortgage could also have, oh, my roof went, or this happened and that happened, and now I have an unexpected expense. So if you like predictable expenses, renting is good for that as well.
What about moving or buying in a homeowners association? I've seen a lot of that as well. Tell me a little bit about that. And is that the pros and cons in that?
Yeah, so I have two properties right now, and I've that are in homeowners associations that I'm actually doing flips in, and they are interesting. It Everyone's different, as I found. I own four rentals in another, and they're low key and they're no problem. Others are really uppity, meaning that they just, hey, you don't put your trash out, like, you don't have anything outside, your door has to be this color green, shutters this color, that kind of thing. Some of them are really structured, which is also a good thing, because sometimes you go into developments and you have people painting purple doors or whatever. You don't have that in the HOA. So sometimes those funky colors can detract from home values, where an HOA kind of keeps that structure and integrity. And also, into that point, again, more of, it's kind of, maybe I would say, like a hybrid, because in the renting world, right, like I said, where you don't have the responsibility for handling a lot of those things, the HOA kind of handles a lot of the outside stuff, roofs, typically, depending on the HOA, and cutting the grass, mulching, sometimes snow removal. So it's kind of a blend of both.
Okay, okay, that's a good thing to know. And what is the biggest mistake people make when they're first time buyers?
Ooh, for our biggest mistake they make as first time home buyers, I would probably say, just maybe, I don't want to say, maybe compromising, because there's so much. And not that there's, it depends on the market, right? Right now, people probably have to compromise because there's such low inventory. But at other times, just to make sure, like, hey, this property is a good fit for me. I love this home. I can make it my own. Also, I would probably make sure that you're, kind of getting it. I think probably in the setup of it, make sure you're dealing with maybe running if you, hey, my brother-in-law is a lender and I'm going down this road using him, maybe just float it by another lender to make sure that things are, on the same page and close. Because if you get set up, which costs you probably a good $5,000 to $8,000 for closing costs for a home, making sure that you're not paying a lot, that the closing fees for the setup of the mortgage, and that your rate is competitive. So you're going to have to live with it. Probably the average homeowner has it for 7 years, that you are going to be set up for the next ongoing, by picking the right mortgage broker from the get-go.
And what are the top things people should have when they're buying a home, whether it's their first home or a third home? What's the things that they should keep in mind?
Um, Top things that she keep in mind. I would say, I think people probably get your first home. You're so excited, right? Like you just want to have something that's your own and that you can do whatever. You might go through and you're like, oh, you're willing to put up with certain things, just to have your own home. Second and third home, you're like, no, these are like the must haves. And that's going to be so different depending on the buyer of what's important to them at that point. I like to, I'm a car guy, so I like to find houses that have garages. So find the thing that's important to you and kind of, look for that in that special home next home.
And what was the biggest thing that you, other than the garage, that you look for in your own home?
Well, when we're flipping homes, we like to, this is how we think about things. The person with the money, the person buying it, wants certain rooms done. They can compromise on certain things, i.e., maybe the kids' size rooms or a half bath somewhere that's less than desirable. I think the things that are non-negotiable for buyers, again, the person with the money, like master bathroom, master suite, kitchen, those non-negotiable, the things where they're going to spend most of their time making sure it's an open floor plan. So catering to the big things where the owner with the money is going to be spending a lot of their time.
Yes, that's like my dream thing. I need a nice bathroom with, a separate tub and stuff, and I need a huge kitchen.
Yes.
Like one of those Real Housewives kitchens. That's my
Yes.
dream. At least
Absolutely.
Vanderpump's kitchen is like the dream.
Nice.
They do a lot of cooking, so
Yes.
that's the biggest dream right there.
There
And
you
what would
go.
you have in your dream house?
Oh, well,
No expenses,
yeah, sure. I think it's going to be, dream house would be waterfront somewhere, with a bay, like a dock for a boat, and at least a 3-car garage. I think that's kind of, we're water people, and so car people as well. We like toys, so that kind of setup with, we love the water views, that kind of thing.
Nice. And anything else you want to share before I let you go?
Um, yeah, I mean, I just took some notes here. I'm just see if I had anything that, I guess I mean, I mentioned a couple things on the renting side. The buying side, is, I think there's always real estate's a great way for people to, buy homes as well. So obviously, but if you can afford to put that 5 to 10% down, especially with Biden passed a $15,000 first time home buyer credit. So if you can get with your lender on that, see if you qualify. Buying now is a great time for that. Again, we talked about saying for, 3+ years, you get tax deductions for owning as well. And then I guess the two things that I would say that you don't get when you rent is you get future appreciation. And in the last year, Pennsylvania, where we live, has appreciated about 10%. And then the other thing is the ability to customize. You want to paint that, room pink, or you want to make some changes to your house that you wouldn't normally do if you rented. That, owning gives you that flexibility. So that's all I would say. And we're, at Property Buyer today, we help people find homes. So if there's something we can help people with, we're happy to help.
And one more thing that I just thought of, what if you're rebuilding your credit or you've had bad credit or a bankruptcy in the past and you're looking to buy a home? Should you have a co-signer? How should you do that? But you're proving that you're rebuilding your credit and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah, it's that's a good thing. I was just helping somebody out that was saying, "Hey, I'm a first-time home buyer. What should I do? And my credit's this." So there's some price breaks in credit, and this is where having a great mortgage broker or loan officer would be the person. I'm sorry, there's some people in the background. So
Okay.
would be the person on to team up with you and help you, because you want to get to, say you're at 600, 650 credit score, and you need to get to, really the price breaks in interest rate kind of come at like 680, 670, 680, then 720, then 740. So being on the upper, so if there's a way to get there, a mortgage broker is going to, be able to say, "Hey, Dave, if you pay down your credit card, to, pay this one down to X, or you do this and that, then it's going to help you get to your next level of the credit score that's going to help you." So a mortgage person is really going to be your key person to help you improve your credit score, make sure you qualify for the best rate so you can get into that home.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I can't wait to talk to you again in the future.
Awesome, Sammy. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.